I don't normally do this. I just recorded the entire podcast, and now I'm circling back to put a new top on it. At the end of this podcast, I started reading a Gallagher article that I had previewed, but not actually read. Oh my goodness. Even if you skip most of the podcast, stick around for the last thing. It is a mind-blowing article from 2010 about Gallagher. It's going to take you places that are uncomfortable that you did not expect to go. All right, here's the theme music. Stick around. Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. You should follow All Pro Lines for great jokes like this. That Vikings-Bills game was like Kim Kardashian, a thrilling end where a lot of famous athletes got highlight videos. If you like that, stick around for Gossip Corner. Gossip Corner is a little naughty today, and I want to do it first out of the box. Hey, did you see the National Park Service told visitors not to lick toads? Yes, this is going to come back to Joe Rogan. Why do you ask? The National Park Service has warned visitors not to lick a particular toad that's known for its psychoactive properties. This is on Yahoo. The Park Service went on Facebook to let you know that toads have prominent parotoid glands that secrete a potent toxin. It can make you sick if you handle the frog or get the poison in your mouth. As we say with most things you come across in a national park, whether it be a banana slug, unfamiliar mushrooms, or a large toad with glowing eyes in the dead of night, please refrain from licking. Oh, you know you're curious. It's the Sonoran desert toad, also known as the Colorado River toad. It can grow to nearly 7 inches. It's one of the largest toads in North America. It's typically found in northern Mexico and the southwest U.S. The psychoactive secretions released by the toads are consumed by humans in other ways. The substance is typically dried into crystals and then smoked using a pipe. The result is a psychedelic experience that can last 15 to 30 minutes, according to the New York Times. The psychoactive substance is illegal in the U.S. and designated a Schedule I substance, so do not do this. But it's also been referred to as the God molecule. Boy, that marketing will sure keep people away from it. Bring it back to comedy, Johnny Mac. All right, comedian and podcaster Joe Rogan said that the particular compound was probably the most terrifying experience he's ever had on psychedelics, adding that he felt like he ceased to exist. Chelsea Handler told The Hollywood Reporter her experience with the drug was really scary. It's this frog venom thing where they light it, you inhale it, and you basically hallucinate. You see visions and colors. I was at some woman's house lying in her living room on blankets, and I was immediately drenched in sweat, feeling as sick as I've ever felt. Don't do drugs, everybody. Chelsea Handler also was inducted into the New Jersey Hall of Fame on Sunday. John Bon Jovi introduced Chelsea Handler at the ceremony because this thing was as New Jersey as it gets. Who was your host? Danny DeVito. Who was the band? Max Weinberg from the E Street Band. Congratulations to Chelsea Handler on joining the New Jersey Hall of Fame. Trevor Noah is going out on a world tour. It's called the Off the Record Tour. He'll visit 28 U.S. cities, including New Orleans, Austin, Texas, Boston, San Francisco, and New York. Now, I also saw, as part of this tour, South African shows. And I started to think, I remember telling you guys that Trevor Noah was going to play South Africa next September, and I thought that was curious and suggested he would have to take some time off from The Daily Show, and we all know how that all played out. I wonder if the folks over at Comedy Central, A, saw the note, or B, perhaps listen to Daily Comedy News every day, and were like, hey, why did Trevor Noah announce South African shows when he's supposed to be hosting our show? Or C, they completely missed it and were caught off guard. Dion Cole has a new special on Netflix today. It's called Charlene's Boy. It's named after his mom. In the special, Dion Cole shares his advice on how to navigate life and dating in today's society. Sebastian Maniscalco will have a new special on Netflix. This one, December 6th. It's his fourth. The first three called What's Wrong with People? Why Would You Do That? And Stay Hungry. This one is called Is It Me? It was filmed at the Encore Theater at Wynn, Las Vegas. Topics include his wife's restaurant etiquette, the realities of present-day preschool, and an examination of overall human behavior, prompting him to ask the question, is it me? Tom Pop is also getting a Netflix special, this one December 13th. So for my end-of-the-year list, I'm going to have to watch a lot of specials leading into the holidays. This one is called Tom Papa, What a Day. It was filmed at the Wilbur Theater in Boston this fall. Tom Papa shares the highs and lows of parenting, his reliance on modern technology, rescuing his pet pug, and how his marriage has evolved over time. Tom is a fantastic comedian. I was really disappointed by his previous special where I noticed he was getting a lot of clapter. What's clapter, you ask? That's when the audience doesn't laugh at your jokes, they clap at your jokes. That's not good. Comedian Joe Lycett has launched a campaign against David Beckham, the famous soccer player. You've heard of him. You've heard of the movie Bend It Like Beckham. You kind of know who this is. That guy, yes. Comedy.co.uk says that David Beckham has received a reported £10 million to act as an ambassador for the country of Qatar or Qatar. I don't think we've still settled on how we pronounce this thing. Anyway, they are hosting the 2022 Men's World Cup, which starts very soon if you like the soccer, park in front of the TV. The issue here, Qatar was voted one of the worst places in the world to be gay, and it's a country where homosexuality is illegal, punishable by imprisonment, and in some case, death. Lycett has a campaign called Benders Like Beckham. He argues that David Beckham is a gay icon and implies that he's abandoned his fans for monetary gain. In a campaign video, he states, "I'm giving you a choice. If you end your relationship with Qatar, I will donate 10 grand of my own money. That's a grand for every million you're reportedly getting to charities that support queer people in football. However, if you do not, I will throw the money into a shredder at midday next Sunday just before the opening ceremony of the World Cup and stream it right here on the internet. Not just the money, but also your status as a gay icon will be shredded." As for Beckham being a gay icon, that's apparently due to him being the first soccer player to do photo shoots with gay magazines, speak openly about his gay fans, and to marry a Spice Girl. Joe jokes that's the gayest thing a human being can do. All right, shut off the podcast if you're with the kids. It's time to hit Gossip Corner. Jay Pharaoh was on a radio show, and he talked about Pete Davidson's BDE. Do you know what BDE is? You know, it's that thing, it's that vibe you give off. And the women are like, he's got BDE. You know what I'm talking about? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, say no more. So the radio show was curious how Pete Davidson gets all the babes, and Jay Pharaoh said, he told me what it was. It's his endowment. He confirmed it. He was like, yeah, bro, it's like 9 inches. Jay Pharaoh added, I think Pete's just a sweet dude. He's sweet, he's vulnerable, he's not trying to put on. Unfortunately, he does have a lot of other problems physically that he's got to deal with, so women might see that and be like, oh, he's so cute, I'm going to kiss him, and then I'm going to pull his pants off. Speaking of pulling off your pants, Kumail Nanjiani plays Chippendales founder Steve Bongery. I didn't even plan that. That was a great segue, Johnny Mac. He's very thankful for the role. Kumail says, I keep my shirt on the entire time, and they have to watch me eat cheesecake. It was great. More of this. I loved it. But if Kumail were a male stripper, he knows what his routine would be. He says, I would be a baker. There's so much you could do with baguettes and bear claws if you're having a really good day. He's now sleeping with a CPAP machine. What's that? He says, it's a huge thing on your face. It's a loud machine that's keeping you alive all night. Oh my. TampaBay.com had an interview with Gallagher from 2013. This resurfaced over the weekend. In this article, there's some stereotypical racist kind of stuff, the kind of jokes we don't make no more, Gallagher. So I just want to get in front of that. If I say something here, I'm saying the words of Gallagher, but I'm going to try and avoid all the words. Back in 2013, TampaBay.com wrote, a few things stand out about Gallagher's inaugural TV special. First, it's in a tiny nightclub and nobody brought a raincoat or an umbrella or a ride helmet to guard against flying bits of fruit. That would all come later. Second is that Gallagher's jokes are racially and ethnically insensitive. He had something to say about Mexicans, Poles, Japanese, on and on. One of his jokes, you know why and here they have the word that Archie Bunker would use to describe someone of Polish ancestry. I'm not going to say that, so I'll clean it up. You know why a Polish person can't eat pickles? The punchline, he can't get his head in the jar. The audience ate it up. They laughed so hard they spilled their beers, and when it was over, they gave him a standing ovation. Fast forward 30 years to August 2010 at the annual Gathering of the Juggalos, a meetup for fans of the band Insane Clown Posse. Of course Gallagher was there. Why wouldn't he be? There in a side tent, the Juggalos sit around on bales of hay. Up on stage, standing barefoot on a short table, is a paunchy Gallagher. His hair's lighter and more stringy like hay, and he's still doing the bit. He starts by telling them that he knows the problem with America. I'll remind you, this story takes place in 2010. The problem is I'm not on TV anymore because they can't handle the truth. Batten down the hatches here. I'm just reading from an article. These are not the words of Johnny Mac. Reading from the article. And the truth, he says, launching to a favorite routine, is that we're losing our culture because we've become okay with crossbreeds. Uh-oh. All right, but tap the brakes. Things like spoon forks, spork, and escalades with truck beds, and people who wear socks with sandals. Whew, thought that was going to go somewhere awful. Oh, wait, it did. Then he starts in on President Obama, and he asks, how many black dudes do you know from Hawaii? The article recalls that there's a little laughter, but it's uncomfortable. Gallagher continued, he's half black and half white. He's a latte. There's white milk in there. Could be goat milk. He could be an Arab terrorist. He's got BAM in his name. Someone in the audience says, wow. Many years later, somebody recording a podcast says, wow. Now, I told you on Friday, I guess it was, I worked with Gallagher once. And that was 14 years ago. So let me check my watch here. This was 2008. Maybe he hadn't started doing this type of humor yet, or he didn't do it that day. I know for a fact we had a zero tolerance policy for racism on the radio stations I programmed. I'm not just saying that 14 years later. Definitely was a policy thing, and I would have meetings about it regularly. Zero tolerance. So this did not go on that day. He just smashed stuff, and we had some laughs, but oh my. So somebody in the audience says, wow. The article says he's losing them, but he keeps going. Quoting Gallagher, they said, Gallagher, you can't be on TV. You're not sensitive to the needs of the handicapped. I said, I am too. That's why I use all their parking spaces. I don't know why they have to be so close. It ain't like they gotta walk. Even the juggalos at this point seem uneasy. Gallagher says, you're backing off on me. You want to be politically correct. Just be correct. He soon slips into a kind of internal monologue. He's speaking into the microphone, but it feels like he's talking to himself. I need wrong to get laughs. I need a normal world so I can be abnormal, and that's my problem. Comedians need prejudice. Gallagher, by the end, has stopped being funny and has become something else, and it seems pretty clear there's not much difference between the Gallagher now and the Gallagher of 30 years ago. What's different is us. The newspaper asked Gallagher, is this the act, or is it you? Gallagher says, I think it's a good question. Must be me. Must be me. I observe. I'm a scientist. Wow. That's your comedy news for today. Follow the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, audio-only version on... I don't even know what to say here, man. Wow. Didn't expect that Gallagher article to go there, did you? Audio-only version on, what's it called? YouTube. Boy, that blew my mind. I gotta go. Bye. See you tomorrow.